Iceman Williams.
Iceman.
There we go.
Let's go.
You know what I'm
Come
saying?
on.
We have to.
Come
Because,
on.
he's the Iceman. That's his ice baby. Fourth quarter, he's ice baby. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, man, he's been so good. And just with the Bears, this is a win, the different win from last year. Like last year with the Matt Eberflus-led team, we're not winning those games. Every time we got in close game situations with Eberflus and Waldron, whoever that offensive coordinator may have been, we don't win those games. We either go down there, we get a little bit excited, and then we fall flat on our face again. It doesn't happen now. This is a new exact team, kind of like John has mentioned. Consistency and accountability. We're making different things happen. Caleb is hitting his strides. Ronan, you mentioned he's hitting these deeper throws.
Yeah.
He's getting better as we see. And Ben Johnson at the
Our
beginning.
very eyes.
Yeah, we're seeing this.
That's
and
right.
It's amazing.
It's exciting. And don't forget what our good friend Nick Rhodey said, that Ben Johnson said that there's different installments of his offense.
I hope you're watching this, Nick.
We miss
I
him
love
so
you.
much.
I miss you,
There's
buddy. Come back on.
different installments of a Ben Johnson offense. And he said that we're barely in installment 2. There's 2 more installments.
How much more can I take?
I know. This is great.
It's too much.
This is great. It's the fact that Ben Johnson still has more up his sleeve. The fact that
It's
we
great.
haven't gotten everybody back from injury.
And I have to add,
Yes.
that is such a genius way of going about it, because one of the things that I've always found is that a lot of offenses, they'll push all their playbook first. Like the first couple of games,
Correct.
they push that playbook out. But the fact that we're going in phases, it's such a calculated move. Like it's so that's awesome, and that's just a different level of calculation that you haven't seen it with a Bears coach. Like honestly, even when we had Nagy was pretty smart, but man, he just could not.
But he threw it out that first year in
Yeah,
2018.
like,
Didn't
threw
have
it out.
anything else.
And it's it's what I've been saying. Where why don't we have these sort of like phases?
Well, Ben Johnson is letting Caleb take control and open it up. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Which tells me that he's calling his own plays. Mm-hmm. He's letting him go out there and audible. He's not saying do it like this. He's saying you go win this game for us. Every great quarterback goes out there and winning games. And Caleb's been name any place they haven't retired his jersey. High school, college. They've retired his jersey everywhere. So we got the type of player that his history is excellence to the point that, hey, this is the best. All players that had their jerseys retired, Michael Jordan, all great players, hey, they end up being great football. I'm not saying we're going to, I don't want to throw too much out there.
The hope.
I know we all
We're
hoping, but
manifesting it right now.
we can't be excited. No matter what they say, no matter what Stephen A. Smith say, ESPN, they want to get the Bears like Holly no coverage, But by the end of the season, once we get to the postseason, we're going to start getting more coverage. We're going to start getting more, publicity because Iceman is going to bring us home. And Ben Johnson, he's the leader of that ship. He's doing a great job. And I think we got great things to see from the Bears.
They're leading charge, and I love it. We should be able to get into that postseason. And I guess before we talk a little bit more on Caleb here, Olamide Zaccheaus, man, I saw he had a touchdown dropped, and I saw an adjusted stat number. Caleb had over 150 yards in pure drops. The Bears had 8 drops in that game, the most by one team in the whole NFL season. That's a problem. And guess who was 50% of those? Olamide Zaccheaus. At what point do we say you got to go and give Luther Burden the ball? We know Luther can ball. And the fact that Zaccheaus was in there and cost Caleb over 150 yards and 2 touchdowns worth, because DJ Moore couldn't get his feet in and Zaccheaus just straight up dropped one. At what point are we like, what the heck is going on? What do we got to do there, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just an environmental thing. That cold weather. I had who did we talk about this with?
We talked about it with Pat the designer.
I went back and forth with somebody about the cold weather drops. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was in class. But I was saying how, if any of you guys have worn football gloves before, they're great and they're sticky. But in that cold weather, Caleb's a fast thrower too.
Yeah,
that's
going to
hit you in the hands, and that's going to hurt. Like, if you've ever had to catch a football that's coming at you really quick, like if somebody's got a rocket arm and they're launching at you, it's going to sting. And you get in that cold weather, like if any of you who are watching have played Illinois high school football, when it gets cold in December, even in November, when you have to play those cold games, it's brutal, man. It's brutal. And you'll try to tip a ball. I used to play linebacker. Try and tip the ball. Oh, it'll feel like your fingers are breaking. It's ridiculous. But I really just think it was an environmental thing. I think, depending on where we play, are we playing at Minnesota?
We are playing at Minnesota indoors.
Minnesota? I think we're going to see a little bit better from the offense.
Absolutely.
I just really think it was an environmental thing.
It was bad, right, John?
Well, one thing about drops is, unfortunately, these guys, drops is based, they be having like incentives and stuff like this, that they have to catch the ball and everything like that. And his drops are not going to help the team. I agree. It's cold, but what about the receiver on any other team? Like, what about Minnesota? They got the top receiver. What's his name again?
Jefferson.
Hey, Justin Jefferson probably will not drop those balls.
Yeah.
So you have to figure out, are you going to be a number 1 receiver? Are you going to be a number 2 receiver? Or are you going to be a number 3? Moore, unfortunately, gets hurt kind of a lot, maybe get a little bit banged up, but I don't think he drops those. He doesn't get as many passes as he should, I think, because of the schemes, But other than that, I think he needs to be accountable, and he has to catch those balls. I understand it's cold, but he's been playing football his whole entire life.
That's the thing I kept arguing.
So he should. Ben Johnson is accountability, his culture. I'm pretty sure he had a word with him. Say, hey man, I understand, but those are the balls. Now, as far as routes, maybe I don't know exactly the type of routes, but other than that, he should be catching those balls.
He should. Zacchaeus should be able to bring those in because he's been shown to be consistent. You know what I mean? Yeah. But with that, guys, we head to our first ad break here. We'll come back, talk about Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. This is Bear Down Breakdown. Be right back.
Johnson, what was that? You let him blow past right by you.
But did we cover the spread, Coach?
They weren't running a spread offense.
Nah, I mean the point spread. I bet on us to cover the spread at 12.5 points. And, well, between you and me, Coach, I got a good 6-leg parlay I want to hit. I'm due to earn over 60,000 big ones.
Well, your parlay wasn't part of the game plan. Now get your butt on the bench. Johnson may have not stuck to the game plan, but you can stick to yours if you plan on sports betting. It's just 3 simple steps. Set your limit, bet what you can afford, and track your bets. Like any form of gambling, sports betting is supposed to be fun, and sticking to your game plans can be the difference between joining like these guys or ending up like Johnson.
Suspension? Why? I bet on my team to win.
I'm a champion, real-life Shaq's mechanism. Yeah, 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 yeah.
All right, Shaquille O'Neal for Rad. This is not your normal PSA. Don't be stupid. Don't drink and drive. If you're gonna go out and have a good time, it's fine. But designate a driver to drive home. Let's stop the madness. Don't drink and drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transport.
Most of us like to be out in the sun. That's why sunscreen and other safety measures are key to protecting your skin from aging and cancer. The FDA recommends using a sunscreen with an SPF of 15 or higher. Also, look for broad spectrum on the label. That means both harmful ultraviolet A and B rays are blocked. Remember, SPF plus broad spectrum equal healthy fun in the sun. Visit www.fda.gov/sun.
For over a century, local broadcasting has evolved with the needs of the community. We move past the stigmas of opinion journalism and bring the most relevant news online, on air, and on the go. You have trusted us with your news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Trust us to keep moving with you. Text TB to 52886.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No...
So I'm a cat, and I just moved in with this new human, and she's got this little toy she's always playing with, all day long. Tap, 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 bloop, bloop. She can't put it down. There it is. Oh, and get this. She even talks to it. Last week, she asked it for Chinese, and guess what? Egg rolls showed up. Like magic. Humans have cool toys.
A person is the best thing to happen to a shelter pet. Be that person. Adopt. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the ShelterPetProject.org.
We're back.
Welcome back, everybody. Bear Down Breakdown.
Stream is down. It's
Stream is down. We had it going, and it went down.
If any of you guys are...
Is my mic good?
You're good.
Yeah, it's good, yeah.
Okay.
You're always good, man. Yeah. Poor Henry. He was stressing. You saw him, John.
I felt bad.
Oh, boy. We'll give him a shout-out regardless. He's working hard. Well, speaking of working hard, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, man.
CJ.
He has been unreal and has been a fantastic pickup for the Bears, especially for his depleted secondary. In his first 2 games with the Bears, his only 2 games with the Bears, he has recorded 15 total tackles, 12 solo tackles, 3 sacks, and 1 forced fumble.
Golly.
Should we consider extending his contract? And what role would he play once Kyler returns, Ronan?
Get him in the position that Nahshon Wright has. Because Nahshon Wright he should not be playing for us.
Yeah, dude.
It's ridiculous. Because we have Stevenson, and he's an amazing 2. We have Kyler, who's a great nickel. And we have Jalen Johnson, who is obviously the alpha. So C.J. Gardner-Johnson, you pair him with Brisker. I love that pairing because they're going to talk all that crap. They're going to go out there and mess with people's heads. And especially against like Minnesota, it's, we need that. We need that smack talk. We need to get in Justin Jefferson's head, Jordan Addison's head, Adam Thielen's head. You got to really just you got to mess with them because the only way that you're going to throw them off their game is if, hopefully C.J. Gardner-Johnson is our sacrificial lamb and gets in a fight with Jefferson. They both get thrown out of the game like the Javon Wims situation.
Yep. Take somebody out.
Yeah, maybe they're like, CJ, we'll extend your contract, but you have to. It's gonna be like Bountygate. You remember Bountygate?
Yeah, you gotta go fight him, but then you'll be able to come back. I mean, I don't know. I think should we extend him though? Is the first question.
Yes.
Okay.
I think we should extend him because obviously he's proved that he's a Bear and his stats show it. I think during the Minnesota game, it's gonna be. I think we're gonna blitz more.
Yes, to
because we got. I think we're gonna blitz more. I think McCarthy. We want to get him moving around. We don't. I know he's young. He could probably, but he's not he's mobile. But I think we're gonna blitz more. We're gonna get him moving around, and we're gonna do better as far as points. I think we're gonna score probably about a half. We're probably gonna have 20 plus as far as points because Ben Johnson is gonna correct that red zone issue, and I think that the team is the chemistry is getting there now, and the chemistry is getting there. So I think beginning of the year they had to find a chemistry, but I think they kind of found it now, and we should C.J. Gardner, we should extend his contract, and at the same time bringing Johnson back. I think we're gonna have one of the. If I'm not mistaken, I think we lead the league in takeaways.
Yes, right? We do.
Yeah, what, 16?
No, it's actually 19 now.
19?
Yes.
I think that's going to improve. And, people say that, and I think when Johnson come back, that's going to improve. And we're going to stay remaining the top defense in the league. And we're gonna make he's gonna help us bring some more wins to the Bears.
We got to do it with CJ. Now, I guess another thing would be is when we extend him, how long would you guys like to extend him?
Like 2 years.
2 years, because he's 27 years old. He's young.
2 years.
2 years. Keep him until he's 29. If he's good, keep him for another year until he's 30.
I would more just keep him to keep competition in that corner room.
That's
because
fair.
These guys have just not been performing, and it's got to be a next man up mentality. And the guys in the secondary have just really crapped the bed.
Yeah.
Yeah, that corner position has been crucial.
It's been tough all season.
Yeah, and I think most people realize that because of injuries. Luckily, we have defense like Sweat, and he really stepped his game up as far as
he's been big lately.
Yeah, especially as far as getting at the quarterback, as far as rushes and just getting him out of there and everything. So. We actually got a great defense. I don't know if they're gonna be like the 85 defense, but I think we could call them the Johnson's defense. Yeah.
Anything's better than what we got now, to be honest. The defense is good. We have players, but they just haven't been able to put it together. And I don't know if you've noticed that, Ronan. They were good in the earlier part of the season, and they just kind of fell flat.
It's just because there's been so much rotation and so much. Yeah. It's been such a carousel of this guy's playing. Now we have Gardner Johnson. Now we have another guy in the rotation with Shoyinka. It's a lot to adjust to, and the fact that we didn't go out and get a really big guy, I think is another thing. We just went and got a rotational person. People have been in and out with injuries. It's hard to build that chemistry, build that rapport, know where a guy's going to be in the formation. So I get that, But I think we'll be fine. I think our defense has been performing really well, and I'm not too worried.
They've been doing enough at least. It's
really just the offense because we got a lot of games that are going to be offensive slugfests.
Yes, we do.
Minnesota, all these different teams that we are about to play. That is, like, the guys need to step up. Get on the jugs machine, man. Stay after practice for a few hours.
And I think we're 0-2 in the division, right?
Yes, we are. Unfortunately,
yeah, but that's okay because Green Bay just lost.
Yeah, Green Bay did,
and
just lose.
That's our nemesis. As long as we can keep them at bay, Detroit, I don't know. Detroit is either going to be excellent or they're not going to have a good game. Just in my humble opinion, but I think it's good that we're 6-3, 9 games. And this is the part of the season that's crucial. That's real crucial. 1 or 2 games, you might not make the playoffs. But day by taking it game by game, and with Ben Johnson's culture, the way he's got them playing. All the way down to the last second, the last minute. And that's what's helping us really win games. And just like I say, Caleb is taking over that offense. And obviously he's assumed leadership roles. And I think that's done by when they mic him up, his conversations, where he give, hey, guys, this is what we need to do. We're going to score. And they score. Now, that's ice to me. And I'm only saying that because I'm trying to push that.
Ice, man.
That's ice. Ice, baby. So we're gonna find out. I think he's gonna be ice for the whole year, though. But C.J. Gardner is excellent piece. But here's a question: where should we build at as far as the rest of the year? As far as what do y'all think what we should do as far as defense? To make it stronger, because I think our line is good with Sweat and a couple of the other guys. And is he the defensive captain, Sweat? Because
I think it's him and TJ, but TJ's out.
TJ's out. I'm pretty sure it's Tremaine.
Tremaine's one of them.
Right.
Tremaine's one of them.
Montez is definitely one of them. Byard's the other one. Yes.
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
I was gonna say there's not many. Jalen obviously, but he's not playing right now.
It's Tooney on the offense. But just to work off your question there, I really think that it's kind of the opposite of the problems that we had in the Eberflus era, where it's like instead of closing these games, we need to learn how to start them.
Yes.
We need to come out hot. We need to stop relying on these cardiac clutch moments, because that's not how you play football, especially against the fact that we've been playing some really bad teams. Like that Bengals game, as amazing as that was.
Hey.
Oh my gosh, like my heart cannot handle that.
I know, right?
Like,
no more.
I don't deserve that, and I just think the defense needs to step up. We need to play better coverage. We need to get a little bit more consistent. Sorry, I got a burp. But I really just think that we need to start playing a little bit more man, but we all, a little bit more off man, because you see a lot of the time they're playing zone. They're playing like these different coverages that it's like.
And they get beat quick on zone.
They do, but I think especially against Justin Jefferson, you got to have an off man on him.
Correct.
And it's got to be Stevenson, but you got to give him some space because he hits those slant routes like.
Correct. And
it's nasty.
Yeah, I think like our slot man more. I think Dunze, and I see that Caleb is trying to make Dunze a big play guy.
Yes.
And he throws a lot of bombs to him. But personally, I think Moore can maybe take more passes because he's just so consistent. He don't really drop a lot of balls. He does get a little injured a lot, and it's going to be interesting to see what type of scheme they're going to be running and how many times they're going to go downfield. I think they're going to have a lot of opportunities to open it up and go downfield on Minnesota, but Minnesota is coming off a tough loss. So I know their locker room is like, we have to beat the Bears, so it's not going to be just a walk, a walk in the park. But I think they're going to open a running game to me with Swift is great. And what's the other guy that's running?
Manungai.
These guys are doing a great thing. And that's one thing I like about Ben Johnson. He runs the ball, and that opens up for Caleb, all day. He runs it. We got some finally we got great running backs. Personally, I like fullbacks because I like to pound the ball, but I think these guys are great receivers, and how many yards, total yards, running yards? Y'all know that we got last game.
Monungai's actually like top 7 now somehow.
Yeah, amongst rookies because he had 170 some in that Bengals game.
And in total with the whole year, he's at like 350 already. With Smith is like 565.
Really
and I think that's being underlooked because his teams now know that we got a decent run game. I mean, these guys are running 5-6 plus yards to carry.
Gotta have it.
Yeah, and that's really making it easier for Caleb to find open receivers and move that ball downfield, especially in the fourth quarter. It's just been unbelievable in the fourth quarter.
I really want to see a little bit more of the 2-back sets. That's what I really like those, and I think especially with Monungai and Swift, that would be such great mind games. You can get Monungai under center. Oh, man.
Yeah, and Ben Johnson,
that be something?
His trick plays, I think Caleb threw the ball twice. He had 2. He's received the ball.
Receiving touchdown.
And then he had maybe one. And we've seen that when he was with Detroit, with Golf Down there.
Yeah, I mean, he gets crazy with his play calls.
Yeah, and we needed that. And that opens up a little bit more confidence when it works, And I think that also helps, Those are pro plays. We don't have to we're just going to throw the ball on, run the ball first, second, and third all the time. These guys are pros. They've been running those plays when they was in Pop Warner. They could open it up, and he's letting these guys open it up, letting them know it's okay. We're going to throw that ball. We're going to march this ball downfield. We're going to score.
Yeah, I mean, it works. Yeah, I mean, before we go ahead and introduce our guest here in 3 minutes, like we mentioned, Jalen Johnson's coming back, and they opened today, recently activated his 21-day practice window to return from IR. They're saying the most possible return is going to be December 7th in Lambeau against the Packers. This should be massive. Yeah, he is questionable because he returned to practice today. Not a lot of work in practice, but just getting ready. Now, how big could that be for a playoff push? I know we're working really hard right now for a playoff push.
Imagine he plays this weekend.
Oh, there's no way it would happen. But that'd be sick. I mean, we're 6-3, and like you mentioned, John, we're working for that playoff push. So we want to see what we want to do. We want to go ahead and push that playoff push and see what we can do. Now, more's going to come back when we get Woody on here because I know he feels really strongly about it. We got to bring Jalen back. We'll be back here, Bear Down Breakdown, with our great guest. We'll be right back.
I'm a champion, realize Shaq's mechanism. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Hi, Shaquille O'Neal for Rad. This is not your normal PSA. Don't be stupid. Don't drink and drive. If you're gonna go out and have a good time, it's fine. But designate a driver to drive home. Let's stop the madness. Don't drink and drive.
A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Transportation, RAD, the National Association of Broadcasters, and the Ad Council.
Johnson, what was that? You let him blow past right by you.
But did we cover the spread, Coach?
They weren't running a spread offense.
Nah, I mean the point spread. I bet on us to cover the spread at 12.5 points. And, well, between you and me, Coach, I got a good 6-leg parlay I want to hit. I'm due to earn over 60,000 big ones.
Well, your parlay wasn't part of the game plan. Now get your butt on the bench. Johnson may have not stuck to the game plan, but you can stick to yours if you play on sports betting. It's just 3 simple steps. Set your limit, bet what you can afford, and track your bets. Like any form of gambling, sports betting is supposed to be fun. And sticking to your game plan is the difference between enjoying the game like these guys or ending up like Johnson.
Suspension? Why? I bet on my team to win.
This message is brought to you by Radio DePaul Sports, the student voice of your blue teammates.
If you're worried your friend may be struggling, remember, you don't have to be there to be there.
You could say, how are you, or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could write them a text or knit them a sweater. If you can't be together, you could write them a letter. Whatever gets you talking.
Welcome back, everybody, to Bear Down Breakdown. I am your host, Gustavo Arriaga, with my 2 great co-hosts here, John and Ronan. And let's go. Ronan, am I missing somebody by chance? Woody's here. Welcome back, man.
What's going on, fellas? How we doing?
Let's go.
Dude, we're so happy to have you back, man. Welcome back.
Happy to be back.
Dude, we were always talking about how happy we'd bring you back. You were like, oh, guys, coming back already. Let's go.
Buddy, I got some news for you, though. I was just in Tucson.
Really?
Yeah.
I actually haven't been there.
Really?
I really haven't.
Oh,
Yeah.
you gotta go down to U of A. I know we're rivals, but you gotta visit sometime. It might be a little bit better than ASU. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, it probably is. It probably is.
Nah, I've been up to Tempe a few times. It's fun. It's very much like it's kind of like a USC kind of school, at least like stylistically compared to Arizona. But it's cool, We got there's some rapport there. But how we been feeling, brother? How you feeling?
Not bad, man. The Bears are 6-3. How can you?
Can't complain. Bears 63 is the best part. And talking about best part, Darnell Wright, man. I cannot rave enough about Darnell Wright. He is easily a top 3 right tackle, and he has been ranked by PFF as a top 3 pass blocking and run blocking right tackle this year against the Giants. And they have a good pass rushing duos and trios and everything. Honestly, their D-line's pretty good. Brian Burns, Kayvon Thibodeau, Abdul Carter, and Dexter Lawrence. 34 matchups against all of them, and only allowed 2 pressures all game. No sacks, no hits, nothing. And I mean, we all saw that play where he just pummels Brian Burns on that spin move.
Oh, yeah.
All seen that. How impressive has he been, Woody? Like, genuinely, I feel besides Joe Thuney, he is easily our best lineman on that line right now.
Oh, he does not get talked about enough, especially from like a national standpoint. We knew when he was drafted, he had all the size and athletic ability in the world, and just whether he was able to kind of polish it up, particularly in pass pro. He's always great in the run game, but he's just been he's been such a rock on that line, and you can tell that any time that Caleb senses pressure, needs to scramble, it seems like there is a pattern of him wanting to scramble towards the side of Darnell Wright because of I feel like he trusts him at this point. Especially last year, obviously the off the line in general is kind of sporadic, but I feel like there's way more trust on that right side in particular from just tackle to the quarterback. He's just been spectacular, dude. There's really no other way to put it.
Now, speaking of Caleb Williams, in the last 2 weeks, Caleb has been the NFL's highest graded quarterback with a rank of 91.1. And additionally to this, when trailing this season, he has a 72.3% completion rate with 1.3 thousand yards, 11 total touchdowns, and only 2 picks. How has this improvement been? How do you think that Caleb has been improving? And just talk about how clutch he's been. That's crazy.
Most important.
Yeah, I don't think in my lifetime, this goes back to obviously Jay Cutler, and I watched Rex Grossman, unfortunately, as a young kid and whatnot. But I have never in my life been so confident that the Bears could still win a game even when we're down double digits. Really, no matter how far along it is in the fourth quarter, early on, whatever it may be. Today, I am more confident in the Bears being able to come back in a game than ever before. I've never been able to say that. He just continues to elevate his game in the biggest moments, which is, no disrespect to Justin Fields, but the polar opposite of what his
exactly
was.
Talked about.
And it's just so night and day. And I think one of my favorite moments that I was captured in that Giants game. Actually, I'm not sure it was not the Giants game. It was the Bengals game, actually. But I haven't talked to you guys since then anyway. When the Bengals scored that touchdown, they went up by 1 point. The Bears are getting the ball back, and they pan it to the sideline, and Caleb just smiling.
Yes.
That pretty much sums it up. I've never felt more confident in a quarterback and a Bears offense, even when we're down 10 with 5 minutes to go in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been unbelievable. I can't tell you the last time I ever felt like this. Even when we had Trubisky in our magical 2018 run, he was oddly clutch, but that kind of comes down to the same thing. I really was never that confident of their ability to go down and actually win the game. You could just feel it with Caleb. His arm strength and processing has been completely different. And I've just been so blessed to have him and Darnell Wright, and it just feels like the young core is finally coming together. But speaking of young core, friend John here has a specific name I think you'd be real familiar with who's coming back soon.
Yeah, we know that Jalen Johnson has been reported that he's going to be coming off IR soon. I think his first game, they say, is going to be against Green Bay. We know Jalen Johnson, solo tackles, 174, assists, 42, fumble recoveries, 1, interception, 7, 2 Pro Bowl selections. What's the impact of him coming back against Green Bay, which we know we got to beat? What's his impact you think is going to be on the game, and how you think he's going to perform?
Well, I can tell you now, it's going to make the pass rush better. Just because you're able to, allow, when you have the confidence, and speaking of Kyler Gordon as well, when you have both Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon coming back, which I'm pretty sure both of them are going to come back at the same time in that Green Bay game, it just allows, it gives you more confidence to just line them up one-on-one and, know that they're going to win their matchup, which obviously allows more opportunities to send guys on a blitz and, yada, yada. I know it's a 21-day window that they activated today. I'm pretty sure they're going to take up the whole 21 days and let him, kind of ramp up to coming back. And so I think that that Green Bay game, I believe the first one, that's like the first week of December, I believe, right? I think they would line up.
Yes, December 7th.
Right? Yeah. And getting him back in December, going into, a stretch of football where you're going to have Packers, I think it's Packers, Browns, Packers again, Niners, Lions. That Niners and Lions game are going to be
brutal stretch.
Particularly the Niners. Their Niners game might be the decider on whether, which team is basically in the playoffs or not.
Correct.
It's going to be critical. And to have, the confidence that you get from this defense playing as well as it has, even with the amount of injuries, and have them, Jalen Johnson and Kyler Gordon come back, but the way the offense is playing, I don't know how you couldn't feel good about things going forward.
We're so optimistic, man. Like, this is what you need right now in this situation when everything's coming together. You just know there's a couple pieces missing, and which is obviously the secondary. When you're getting arguably a top 3 cornerback, a top 5 nickel cornerback, and the team's gelling and they're winning these tough games, it's hard not to feel excited. Now, somebody I'm not excited about, Cairo Santos. We've had this talk before, Woody. I know we have. But the Bears had to go for it multiple times in these longer downs in that snow game because, one, they realized he can't make it in that weather. But, two, there's multiple instances where at 50-yard plus field goals, and we simply don't attempt it because they know Cairo's not making those. How do we go about this? Do we try Drake Moody now? Is it too late into the season? Do we want to risk it? At what point do we make a change? Because we don't want to go down another 2018 situation where we have to rely off another kicker to advance us in the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah, I would go to Jake Moody. And what it really comes down to is, not to be nerdy here, but just mathematically speaking, field goals are kind of useless. I'm sure you guys have probably seen Greg Olson and what he has said about field goals over the last couple of weeks, and he's not wrong.
It's not lost because we haven't scored enough in the red zone.
Right. It gets to a point because of the way kickoffs work, and you get the ball at the 35, 40-yard line, and all these kickers today, if you gain 20 yards and you're in field goal range. Unfortunately for us, with Cairo, that's not the case. And the only time that a 50-plus yard field goal is really worth it to me, most of the time, is for a game winner.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a guy that you can send out there for a game winner or, tying to get into overtime or something like that, the kicker shouldn't be on your team. Otherwise, Cairo is fantastic, under 50 yards. He's one of the more, accurate kickers in the history of football in that case. But unfortunately, the way the game has evolved with the kickoff rules and everything, and just field position, those 37, 42-yard field goals, you don't want those. You really never do, because of just you're going to give those 3 points back, in 2 seconds. It's just not really optimal for you. And so, like Jake Moody, yeah, maybe he has accuracy problems or whatever, but at the end of the day, you can't make the kick if you can't get it there, period.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Jake Moody has a leg. And I that's what I would go going forward. Problem is, I know Cairo has, contract situation, it would be like $4 or $5 million to cut him. They're probably not going to. I'm not aware of. I know Jake Moody has some restrictions on the practice squad of us like having to activate him, not activate him. He would become free. I'm not sure about the details of that, but I know there's stuff there. But yeah, I mean, I would go to Moody and just cut ties. It's unfortunate, but it's just the way the game has evolved, I feel like, at this point.
Now, speaking of another new addition, C.J. Gardner-Johnson, who has been a personal favorite of mine, has, oh my gosh, he's just been amazing. He's got 3 sacks in 2 games. That's ridiculous. I mean, are you a fan of the C.J. Gardner-Johnson signing, or were you a little bit apprehensive before we got him?
Oh, no, I was totally on board. I mean, it was, for me, it was a no-brainer, incredibly low-risk, high-reward situation, especially for, a secondary that is as depleted as it is at the moment. I mean, C.J. Gardner-Johnson has been around. He's been with Dennis Allen before. I felt like that was a no-brainer. Just if it didn't work out, I don't think anyone was going to criticize it. And at the very least, he would have been a warm body to at least give rest to other guys and take snaps. I mean, he's definitely been more impactful than I anticipated, that's for sure. I'm pretty sure he had like 5 career sacks coming into the first game as a Bear, and now he's already got 3 in two games as a Bear, which is insane. He's been the perfect low risk, high reward guy, and honestly, it's already been worth it even in just 2 games.
I do have to point out though, defensively, we have schemed a lot of blitzes for him, and I don't know if you saw this, Gustavo, but there was something that was pointed out where they sent 8 guys, and then CJ came off the edge and he was the open man. That's just genius, and that's just the genius of Dennis Allen on display. Dennis Allen has just been such a good pickup for the Bears team. I mean, leaving Matt Eberflus, who admittedly was a pretty good defensive mind. At Tampa 2, it had its moments. It had its moments. It made Montez Sweat look like a really good player, which I think he is. We the verdict's still out. But it's just been amazing to see. But now John is going to go ahead and give you another question here, looking into the Vikings game.
Well, as far as you mentioned blitz, and we talked about blitz and bringing C.J. Gardner in off the corner. I think personally, the Bears is going to blitz more. I think we got to get McCarthy moving because, as we can see, I don't know if y'all looked at the Eagles game. They, it was a very low game, but when we get McCarthy, he's a runner, but he's not that much of a runner. And I think their offensive line, our defensive line, when sweating them guys, I think are more than capable of getting after him. I think Ben Johnson's going to run more blitz. I think he's going to maybe run some slots, but he's going to be definitely pounding the ball in the first and second quarter. So my question is how you think he's going to scheme it? Do you think he's going to blitz more, or you think he's just going to wait to see, what Minnesota's going to do? I know they got, their top receiver. So how do you think he's going to come in playing the game and his basically overall scheme?
I would expect him to try and get as many people in J.J. McCarthy's face as he possibly can.
I think so.
I mean, most of the time that's a pretty good, default scheme to go against against a young quarterback in general. Just get him under pressure. Especially when McCarthy, he can, like you said, he can run, but he's not, he's not spectacular. And the way that, this Bears team has been able to get to the quarterback over the last couple of weeks, McCarthy has had some, let's just say, underwhelming games in the past few weeks where if you get guys in his face, even if you don't get to him, you can at least pressure him enough where he makes a bad decision and makes a bad throw over the middle of the field. And you got some guys that can make a play on it. I would not expect, Dennis Allen to, fall back and you're just kind of rushing forward and dropping back into coverage. I would expect him to try and get as many guys in his face as he can.
Yeah, and you mentioned something, too, that's interesting to me. What are really the keys to victory on offense as well? We mentioned their offense, but our offense as well. We know what Brian Flores is capable of. And this honestly feels like a must-win game. I mean, we're 0-2 in the division, despite being 6-3. If we have playoff aspirations, we got to win this game. Like, I think this, Woody. You've mentioned it before on your page. We got to walk away with this win, whether we like it or not. And we sit at 6-4. If we lose, we still need this. We can't fall to 0-3 in the division, especially with the Packers being vulnerable right now. Got to go all in. What are the keys on offense?
Yeah, the thing I'm interested in is, this is the first time that Ben Johnson as a head coach has been able to play a team, for the second time. So I'm interested to see what kind of, adjustments he makes from week 1 to now. And, from week 1, the Bears are just a different team entirely. The run game is incredibly different. Obviously, week 1, every team is really different from week 1 to, week 11. But, that first week, I'm pretty sure DeAndre Swift had 17, 16 carries or whatever, and the only other guy that had a carry for the Bears was DJ Moore. Obviously, Kyle Monungai is going to be more involved. He'll tack in 8 to 12 carries, whatever it may be. But the run game just entirely is better, and it's more explosive, and the offense is more explosive. I would anticipate trying to establish the run a bit more. I milk the clock. I think if you give J.J. McCarthy as few possessions as possible, he's bound to make a mistake. And if he makes a mistake on, if you give him few many possessions as possible and he makes a mistake on 2 of them, you're giving your team the best possible chance to win the game. Lowering their number of possessions, make J.J. McCarthy be perfect, which he's not going to be, and run the football, and let Caleb just be Caleb. Ben Johnson even said last week, the funny thing is I thought that Giants game was actually really bad by Ben Johnson. I didn't love a lot of stuff that they were calling, and he said that himself, and he said that Caleb bailed him out multiple times.
Got to show you the confidence he has in him.
Yeah, and so I just establish a run, keep, try to limit the amount of possessions that you give Kevin O'Connell with J.J. McCarthy, and let Caleb be Caleb, let the defense get guys in his face, try to milk the clock, control the game, and just don't let things get away from you.
I got. Can I ask a question? We noticed at the end of the Giants game, and it's kind of, I just wanted to bring this up, but the players was calling him Iceman, so I've been calling him Iceman Williams. What you think about that nickname? You think it's gonna be catchy? At the end, I've been like in the fourth quarter, maybe we can start saying Ice Baby. Like the Over There on the Ice song. I think Iceman Williams is gonna be there, man. So we're gonna throw that out there.
I like
Iceman Williams.
I like it. It's better than 9 or whatever.
Yeah, that corny alter ego for McCarthy. I turn into 9. Get him out of here.
Get him out. Oh my goodness. He's got to go. But real quick, before we face Mr. 9, give me a break.
That's Reddit humor. He's a cornball, man.
He's so bad. But how badly do you think that we beat down on 9? Do you think what's the score prediction here? How are we feeling?
Honestly, I think it's going to be one of those games that's almost similar to last night's Patriots-Jets game, where the score is probably closer than it, really portrays. I mean, last night the Jets had no chance to win that game. Everyone knows that. But it was, 27-14. You had a chance to maybe make it one possession late. I think that's going to be very similar. I would say Bears 27, Vikings 17. Only a 10-point game, and that might seem close to people, but I feel like the Bears are going to be in control.
I like that analysis. I mean, it's fair, I think it's fair, Ronan,
Very
right?
fair, yeah.
The team's so good where we should be scoring near 30 points. And essentially, we are also coming in as a way better team. And things happen as well. Errors are going to happen, a couple outs. They might get a couple of lucky plays and whatnot. That's a fair analysis, so I'm glad to hear it. But that's all that we got for you, Mr. Woody. We appreciate you coming on here again, man. You always have great analysis for us, and, we'd be happy to bring you on again.
Yeah, I love you, brother.
Appreciate
you coming on.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man.
A lot of fun, guys.
We always appreciate you coming on here. No matter what, we got your back. Make sure to follow our guy, Woody, on TikTok and on Twitter, WoodyRYW, I believe, if that's what it is. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
We get him tagged. No worries.
We get him tagged. We get you tagged everywhere, man. Don't worry about it. You're the best. We appreciate you, man. Go Bears this Sunday.
Much love.
That's right.
Go Bears.
Appreciate
We'll
it.
talk to you soon, boss. Have a good one.
You too.
See ya, man. All right, everybody. With that, we'll be going to our last and final break here on Bear Down Breakdown. I'm your host, Gustavo. We'll be back with score predictions.
Hey, that's one nice new bike, Josie.
Yeah, birthday present. Rides really smooth, too. Oh, and I see you finally got a new helmet.
I did. Bought it cheap online.
Love those side wings.
Hey, are you hungry?
Yeah, I'm starving. And need some water, too.
Okay, follow me. We'll turn off here.
I'm right behind you.
Hey, watch the cars. They can be crazy.
Teddy! No! Are you okay? Teddy! Somebody do something!
I called 911. They should be here soon.
Was this young man hit by a car?
Yes, and I'm concerned because his helmet is smashed and cracked open.
It's a brand new helmet.
It's probably a fake.
Please help him.
Fakes cause real harm. You're smart. Buy smart.
Go for real.
Brought to you by the National Crime Prevention Council and the U.S.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Bear Down Breakdown. Almost our last show. We got one more last show coming up next week. Ain't that right, Ronan? Season 2, Episode 8, guys. We just want to thank John for coming out here again, man. We appreciate you.
I really appreciate you guys. The hospitality has been great. I'm really enjoying myself.
Hey, we want to thank you for the donuts as well, man. We get a peer editor now.
Hey, donuts and coffee all the time.
I'm looking at Henry right now. He's got to get ready for his payment. Yeah, you love those donuts, huh?
He's pounding down on them donuts. Speaking of pounding down, we're going to pound down on the Vikings at 9. John, talk to us first, man, since you're our guest here. What are score predictions and what do you expect it to be for the Bears this Sunday? Do you agree with our friend Woody? Do you kind of see a different approach here, especially being an indoor game?
Well, I'm going to give 2 predictions.
All right.
One, since it's an indoor game, I'm going to go with the Bears, 30 or more points.
Okay.
And I'm going to go with Minnesota, 10 points.
I like that.
Nice. Yes.
Now, on average, I think we're going to probably score about the same thing we've been saying, maybe 27-14 or 17. You know, but other than that, I think, you know, as far as being in the dome, I think we're going to do better, as you mentioned about the gloves in the hands and the receivers. I think being in the dome that we're going to perform a little bit better. As far as Minnesota, I think they're going to try to run it early, and I think they're going to run it a lot. I don't think we're great. As far as on defense anyway. I think they're not going to put the ball in the air. They're not going to put too much risk on McCarthy.
Can't do it. They see what he's not capable of.
Right. And I think that's going to be an advantage for us. We talked about blitz, and I think we're going to run a lot of, we're going to bring a lot of guys off the corner. I think, C.J. Garner is going to come off that corner a lot. I think.
Screaming demon.
Yes.
Yeah, and I think for rushing yards, I think we're probably going to get around about 150, 200 plus rushing yards.
Have to. I like that.
Jonathan
Grenard, their edge rusher, is one of their better run defenders, is out. That's fair.
What about Van Ginkel?
Van Ginkel, I think he's playing with an injury.
Is he playing? Yeah.
So he's playing, but with an injury.
Target him.
So
Target
him. Like you mentioned, we have to have a strong run game against a depleted secondary and defense.
Correct. And, I don't want Iceman Williams to have to pull ice out of his veins and go in there and freeze everybody in the fourth. I think it'd be better that we have a balanced game.
For our sake, at least. Our hearts can't take it.
Right. I don't want to have a heart attack because the game is, 10-7 in the fourth quarter, just like the Philly
no more
game.
Oh, my.
I think, our biggest block this year is just to play a balanced game.
Yeah.
But we take it, whatever we could do to win. So what you think, Ronan? What's your
Yeah, I'm saying 21-14. I think it's going to be a tight game. Brian Flores is just an amazing defensive coordinator.
Mastermind.
He has always had our number, and he just knows how to pressure Caleb in the right ways. But to be honest, I think that first game that we had against them, it was very much like a new team. We're fresh out of the womb. We don't know what we're doing. We don't speak any English, but we are now a developed team. We've had a lot of really good wins, a lot of wins that we have earned, even against these worse teams. I think that still shows that resiliency, and you need to have that.
We didn't have last year too.
Yeah, and any win is a win is a win. I'm not gonna sit here and be poopy about we barely beat the Bengals, we barely beat the Giants. We won that game. It's on our record. 6-3. It's not gonna say 6-3, but they barely lost to this. No, we're 6-3. The stats don't the playoff stats don't matter. Well, it doesn't matter if it's a close game, it's not going to be considered. But I'm saying 21-14 Bears. I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be a defensive showcase, especially with, Gardner Johnson. He's been very good. Tyreek is going to have to step up. But I think it's going to be a really big threat. But I'm going to go contrary to your belief and say that it's going to be a passing event. I think they're going to want to get McCarthy out there, have his chemistry build with Jefferson. They got Thielen, who's been pretty good. He's always been good, and he's just a really good,
he's just consistent.
Just short downs, getting the ball to him, get him on a slant over the middle. He can take advantage of those linebackers.
Then don't forget Jordan Addison's playing now. We didn't have Jordan Addison in week 1.
That's a dangerous core, true. And I think that if they're going to try their best to take advantage of our secondary, so we have to really step up. But 21-14 Bears, I think Caleb has 2 passing, and we have a rushing touchdown.
I can agree with that. Now, I actually want to agree with both of you. I think we do have a solid run game. I think about easily 100 yards, maybe 50 between each backs, because we should establish the run game. We want to establish the run game. We want to be able to continue and pound the rock, like you mentioned, John, because you want to wear out that defense. When they're on there gasping for air and you're just pounding the rock down, you're making it easier for your team, right? You're setting up that play action. You're giving Brian Flores a headache, and you're putting them through hell. Simple as that. You want to be able to make it hard for that Brian Flores defense. He knows what they're capable of, but if you're putting him in a tough situation and having their backs consistently against the wall, that's the approach you want to take. Now, I also agree with you, Ronan, because there's a good chance as well that it might be pass-heavy as well for both teams, and we should be pass-heavy, right? They have a weaker team. They've gone through injuries. They've been pretty beat up for a long time.
Really
it's not that great. Harrison Smith is washed. I can't tell you, Josh Metellus is the only probably decent player on there.
Man.
There's just not enough players on that defense to make a play that I've seen,
Right. Now, y'all know there's one other factor that we never, ever bring up. We are biased toward the Bears. Everything we're going to say probably sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
So, now, if I'm a Minnesota fan, guess what? They're going to probably look to beat us about 10-7. I don't think they're going to look to try to run the score up. I think they're going to slow that ball down. They're going to really minimize turnovers, because that's what would killed Minnesota's turnovers. We biased toward the Bears. Now, if the Bears don't win, then everything we said sounds great. But our biases all sound great. But Minnesota's going to be playing with heart.
Yeah.
In their minds, they may. This NFC division is, to me, it's the hardest division. It's the toughest. When you start thinking about the other divisions, they put the ball in the air a lot. You know what I'm saying? Kansas City, but I think Minnesota is going to be playing the other factor, that we never count on, is the heart factor.
Yeah.
Now, we really got to go through all the motions now. Because we want to beat them. They're going to say they're going to win, right? We know how Minnesota fans are.
We're going to beat
them. We should beat them. I say my score prediction before we get out of here is going to be 24-14. I think that's fair. I say the Bears get a last-minute field goal, kind of give them a little bit of pressure. They're going to go for it on 4th down. They're not going to get the 4th down. Bears kneel it out. Game over. We should walk away and be 7-3, and then get Jalen back and hopefully make a playoff push. Fair enough. And then we come back to home Soldier Field and beat Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers, because he cannot beat us again. Well, at least we hope not, right?
Now, if anybody predictions is better than our predictions, I like to see it.
Yeah, we got to see it.
Yeah, but if they happen just like that, hey, it's on. ESPN ain't got nothing on this crew.
CH go.
They never will.
In trouble.
They got to go, man. We're done. We're done with them. But with that, guys, this is Season 2, Episode 8 of Bear Down Breakdown. Thank you, John, for joining us.
Yes.
Ronan, good time being with you, and we'll see you guys next time.